My name is Alex Cummings. I'm a janitor at Adventures on Wonderland in London, Ontario.
I met Alex in the summer of 2012. He had gone through our services here through the GEL program and had met with Mandy and had kind of described what he would like to be doing for a work experience placement. So once we had one set up at the Travel Lodge, I was assigned to job coach Alex during those 4 weeks. Meeting with him on the first day, he was just a ball of light. He's a very positive, energetic individual. Even right through our first day of placement, he arrived there before I did. He had resumes with him so that he could show the employer he was ready to go. And throughout the 4 weeks, he was probably one of my only clients I really should not have been seeing as often as I did, but I liked to go to see him because he was very positive and energetic and just full of life and very open. Was the first person to explain anything about his past and what it had taken for him to get where he was today.
So I met Alex when I came back from my maternity leave. He had actually gone through a work experience already, and I supported him at Adventures on Wonderland, which was a secured placement from Tracy. And I went out and I supported him on site there for a couple of shifts until he was comfortable. It wasn't a long process with Alex because he's a very smart, very capable individual. He brought his notepad. He had everything that he needed to be successful. And we're also dealing with a really wonderful employer out there. We're very proud of Alex. His determination to get where he is now has just been incredible. He's overcome a lot of his obstacles and barriers to get where he is now. And he's just a pleasure to go out and see. He always has a smile on his face. He's so happy. He's thankful for where he is, and he's done all the hard work himself.
I'm Carrie Cummings. I'm the wife of Alexander Matthew Cummings, and we've been married since 2010. Well, Alex and I have known each other for a long time. We met in 2001, and we both had our similar struggles with things like mental health, with keeping proper jobs, and just really navigating what kind of supports are out there for us. And he worked as a resident contact for a lot of years at London Housing, and he really did well with that kind of position because it carried a little bit of responsibility with it. And I always seen that in Alex, that he needed to have a certain amount of responsibility, but because of his struggles with health at times, it was hard finding the right fit. Becoming involved with Goodwill has really changed his life a lot, as far as becoming very excited to do certain jobs and to have a little bit of guidance of somebody to really show him options that were suitable for his abilities. So, there's been a lot of, it's kind of hard to summarize it all just in one little breath here, but there's been a lot of it's been really great to have supporters around him that have been able to show him things that he can do, and that he's been able to get excited about doing it. And I'm really proud of him that he's doing as well as he's doing with his part-time job that he has today.
It was very hard for me to find employment. I had Tracy helping me. However, I went out my own as well to look for work, and I handed out tons of resumes, emails, and just, wow, I went everywhere. And I nobody was hiring, and it was very, I just didn't feel good, of all the places I applied for. And Tracy and Mandy actually helped me with, I had one job interview, but I really messed it up with my interview. And when I told them about it, they gave me a sheet with skills to work through when you're doing an interview. And so I used that when I got my next interview, and things worked out well. It was kind of like you go through life and sometimes you go off the wrong road, and that's what I did. That's when I quit school. However, at that time there was a lot of jobs, and I had work, I had employment in that. But then later on, things changed, and companies started to require you to have a grade 12. Whereas when I first quit school, I was in Cambridge, Ontario, and there was jobs all over the place then. So I eventually moved to London when I was 19, and I went back to school and I graduated. So, and yeah, I moved back to Cambridge. I had work there, and I came back to London. I had a hard time finding work, so that's when I came to Goodwill. So yeah, I dropped out of high school because I was drinking at the time, and I had work, and I just couldn't stop partying and stuff like that, and came to London when I was 19 for treatment. I stayed sober for a couple of years. Then I went back to Cambridge, had work, started drinking again though, and moved back to London again for treatment. As I while coming to London and receiving treatment, I was diagnosed with a schizoaffective disorder. And that kept me out of work for a while, dealing with that. Once I got stabilized though, I was able to step forward. I've been sober for 10 years, stable on medication, so everything's working well that way. Planning on returning to school, and hopefully I keep this part-time job while I do that. But I don't really struggle with too much these days. I'd like to get into counseling, addiction counseling, stuff like that. Work with people, especially concurrent, people with mental illness and addictions. Oh, to receive this award is just amazing. It's like the reward they talked about, like in, good things happen to you. I got sober, I cleaned up my act, living with a mental illness. I've been stable now for many years. And to come to Goodwill and work with these people who I didn't feel judged by, I felt accepted by them. They were really supportive. If I had a crisis, they're there for me. And to get an award for this, for the amount of stuff that they gave me, I'm just Angela phoned me at work and she's like, sit down. I'm like, why? And I sat there and she's like, you won. I'm like, whoa, okay. And, and it's it was just amazed. And I got a phone call, told about this big party, and, you're getting this award. And I'm like, wow. So I phoned everybody I know, and they're like, oh, just no way. I'm like, yeah, everybody was pretty happy to hear what happened. It's good to win an award, but the bonus is I got a job. I came here and with nothing, terrible interview skills, no resume, and not knowing where to go or what to do. And, this place just helped me out, put me in the right direction. So, yeah, I'm grateful for that.